Nigerian government on Friday defended its decision to install a 10 billion naira solar power system at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, citing the unsustainable 47 billion naira annual electricity bill as a key motivation. Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, Mustafa Abdullahi, disclosed this decision while addressing journalists in Abuja. He said the move was part of efforts to cut governance costs and align with President Bola Tinubu's clean energy transition agenda. This initiative will not only ensure uninterrupted power supply to the villa, it will also drastically reduce dependence on the national grid, foster innovation, and create jobs for Nigerian engineers and energy professionals, Abdullahi said. The announcement comes months after the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company published a list of indebted government institutions. In a public notice titled Notice of Disconnection, AEDC revealed that the presidential villa alone owed 923.87 million naira in unpaid electricity bills. It also issued a 10-day disconnection ultimatum to 86 ministries, departments, and agencies over a combined 47.1 billion naira debts. Abdullahi stated that the solar installation at the seat of power marks a pivotal shift towards energy diversification in public institutions and sends a strong signal about the administration's commitments to sustainable energy solutions. The thing now is, if the presidential villa is affected over power supply, 47.1 billion naira, we're not going to sweep that under the carpet. But if the presidential villa is making plans to engage into solar energy, how much more the majority of the country? Yes, I really want to get your thoughts on this, please.
First of all, when I heard the news, I was so surprised. Why will the Aso Rock be using a bill worth over 74 billion naira every year? What kind of appliances are in that house?
I think that 74 billion was like a total of ministries, departments, and agencies from, well, particularly, okay, a year. Just
a year. Okay. Why will the Aso Rock be spending such amount of money just a year? That's where the question has to start with. Why will Aso Rock be spending such amount of money just a year? How much is Dangote factory spending just a year for electricity? Can he spend such amount of money just a year? With him that has big appliances that are running every day, can he spend such amount of money for electricity bill just a year? 47 billion.
Are you trying to say that they were exaggerating? I think too much.
It's too much. It's too much. It's something that it's not possible for Aso Rock to be using such amounts of money to pay for electricity every year.
So why do you think they decided to opt for using solar energy if that would cost 10 billion naira instead of continuing with the Abuja electricity?
Because it's not being realistic. First of all, it's not being realistic. You can't tell me that Aso Rock, I don't know the kind of appliances that is in Aso Rock. I don't feel there is any big machine inside Aso Rock that will warrant such amount of money for bill. So,
but there will be appliances and other equipment that uses energy that they would actually, consume power.
What's 74?
I'm not trying to side. I'm just saying that because you're talking about equipment, there are appliances and other things that could have cost that.
There will be no appliances that will cost such amount of money. It's just too much for them to handle. It's just too much. And I also want to applaud the president.
So I still need to get it right. Are you saying from the villa, they exaggerated the amounts they consume on electricity, or the AEDC gave them outrageous amount. Which one are you actually referring to?
No, they gave them an outrageous amount. That's where I am.
Okay.
Because Aso Rock cannot spend this amount of money. Because according to the news, it's not Aso Rock that is demanding. It's them that's demanding. So at this point, I feel it's them that is giving them the estimated bill. And that's too much. I trust our president is someone who understands how to utilize money. He can't be spending such amount of money just for electricity. It's not possible.
Okay, probably that's why they opted out to using the solar energy.
If them is giving them such amount of bill, the president shouldn't pay for such. I support him in that.
You support him using solar power?
I support it should go into the solar panel. Since the electricity company are saying they are going to take 47 billion to give them electricity, no, that's too much for them to carry out. So I welcome, I love what the president did. I love its level. That's what we call he saved money for the country.
So how do you think that will affect the general electricity and the grid consumption, like general electricity? Don't you think that will, in one way or the other, reduce the power supply that Nigerians actually that we actually enjoy? Don't you think that will reduce the supply of power? Let me say it in a way that you understand. If how the presidential villa will want to opt out of electricity because of the whole grid situation, like they stated, and engage into the use of solar energy, don't you think that will affect the power supply that Nigerians consume in that instance?
For me, it might affect it to an extent. But I believe that the country is getting, the world is getting global, and it's really important that Nigeria needs to start seeing how to improvise.
So Nigerians should also join the queue and start using solar energy
to an extent. The world is getting, most countries in the world are using solar energy to power their country. The likes of China, Dubai, and
but is there no possibility of generating more energy? Because there was a time Adelabu came out to say about 150 million Nigerians are enjoying power supply. Well, after the backlash from the Nigerian Labour Congress, he came to debunk it. That was an oversight statement. But looking at that first statement that was made, that about 150 Nigerians now have power supply, and then he said we use about 5,500 megawatts of energy that we consume. In that instance, looking at that situation, first off, Nigerians we're already grappling with the issue of low power supply. Like I said, there was a time I made a statement that since this year or some period of time, we've not heard of the grid collapse unlike last year, because probably the Minister of Power has literally done something on that part. But the energy, the power, the money, the prices actually increased and the power supply decreased. In that instance, if Nigerians have to start using solar, isn't that going to send a bad message about the electricity supply of the country?
Okay, for me, it's not going to send any bad signal to them. Instead, what the electricity company should do, they should be maybe giving power supply to companies that are using heavy-duty machines to power their machines.
Okay,
they should be investing more on them. Why? Since because individuals are still complaining today that they don't even have lights. Where I stay for the past 1 month and counting, we've not even seen electricity. We've not seen light for a very long time. And how they do it now is that when it gets to the end of the month, they'll bring the lights so that they'll come and take bill. When they take bill, they go. They seize the lights for the highest thing might bring in just 1 week. For that last week of the month, they will just bring it. Then the next week, that is the first week, they will take the lights, because now people have already paid their bills. They've come to cut light and everything. The people have paid bills. They will now come and start behaving again with their lights. So if the country is not, because do you know that most businesses are falling down because of poor electricity in the country? the economy is dropping because people want to open brand. When you now start saying, oh, this, and this to get involved for this, for them to have a sustainable business running, they need electricity to make it run. A street barber now, he cannot. If someone who doesn't have money, if he has the opportunity to even buy a clipper, a rechargeable clipper, and there is no way to charge it, there is no way to plug it so you could charge. If it's someone who has a solar or other means of electricity, you could just plug it.
Do you know the amount of owning a particular solar panel for a street barber, like you mentioned? You know, it's not something that everybody can afford.
Obviously. But I heard that, I don't know if I can say this.
You're not advertising anyone.
Okay, I can advert. But I heard some brands are supporting people who wants to own a solar in their house. They are willing to give you the loan to pay as long as you can to be able to own a solar in your house. So I think the federal government should get more involved with such initiative where they support citizens to get solar in their houses. It might even be like a project for a country or for a state. A state governor could just wake up one morning, see how you could install. River State can carry that activity. Installing solar in most of our rivers. Most of our rivers are just empty, doing nothing. They should go there and install solar and start seeing how they can power some parts of the country. Because most part of this river state don't even have lights.
How about possibility of generating our own power plants instead of, waiting for, I think we use the Kaduna, I think
Kaduna Dam.
No, the power plants that we actually consume. It's not directly from River State, is it?
No, it's from Kaidi Dam.
Okay. So that's what I actually wanted to ask. Well, how about we have the possibility of
having a dam?
Yes, a dam where we actually, yes, it is a Niger State dam. Yes, how about we have a possibility of actually generating ours?
Owning a dam is not as easy as you think. If not, every state would have had a dam. Even Ghana doesn't have a dam. You're not surprised. Ghana doesn't have it, so I don't think the dam can just come like that. It comes with a lot of process. I believe there are so many analyses to that, because don't forget that they are also distorting the rivers, and while you're distorting those rivers, living organisms are there.
Okay.
So biology, scientists or people who are involved in livestock or get involved in wildlife that protects wildlife see those things as a disturbance to the to living organisms. Because the fact you're living here as a person, there are also living organisms in the water.
True.
Imagine someone is always pouring you something every day, makes you be disturbed. And most river states waters have fantastic livestock, like good fishes, where people want to get to pay or buy.
Okay.
They have our fishermen.
Okay, so there's no possibility we'll have one here.
Disturbing our fishes. Most of them will die. Most of them will not be stable. Most of them might not even grow well. Because such thing, it's like a wave. The electricity is being created like a wave. So as the wave comes in, as it pushes, it generates electricity. So imagine such disturbance in the river every day. No. It's not safe for those kind of...
Okay, let's go back to where you say River State can generate its solar energy. In that instance, that I still said that's like a fallback to solar energy, and it's more like we're no longer dependent on electricity in the country. Then is there no possibility, instead of making us want to fall back to solar energy, do something about the electricity part, wherever it's failing, generate small megawatts or something that can, aid the supply of power in that instance?
Generating more megawatts? To be very sincere, I'm not really into this electricity. I don't really know how it really works for them. If it can be possible for them to generate more wax for them.
There was a time I think actually the Minister of Power made a statement that they have to, engage in the use of solar energy to generate more power in the north. You know, there was a time that they had electricity problem. Yes. So, and in that, if we look at it, does that mean that we've lost so much hope on our own power generating plants?
Obviously,
so that means Nigerians should just fall back to the use of solar energy.
Most parts of this country don't even have first-hand electricity. So it's important we fall back in using our sun. Nigeria has a perfect sun for such. Why not we utilize the sun? Those rivers now you're talking about now, maybe we could even plant. That's how they could do it, where they can plant those solar panels on them, where they could also, the fishes are enjoying themselves while the solar is also doing his work. Do you understand? Because at that point you're not distorting the water. It's just that maybe probably the water might be covered or something, but at least there's an inflow and outflow of water, of the water moving. So it's just that the river might be covered due to the sun, or maybe it might even be placed somehow where the water can also have direct access to sun, and also the solar is also getting access to sun. So there's so many ways. That's why they need experts, people who understand this work, countries who understand things like this. China has done it, Dubai has done it, several countries in the world has done it. So it's important that the country goes to those places and see how they could seek and counsel or seek advices on how this can work in the country.
In my thoughts, I'm thinking probably that's a way to diversify, since probably the grid is not really supplying much energy. So, you know, when majority engage in solar energy, that will reduce the weight on the electricity aspect. Well, that won't actually be a bad one.
No, not really be a bad. Most times it's not even about the panel, but the panel plays a major role. But it's not about the panel is like the source of where the energy is coming in.
Okay.
So, but what the major problem is the batteries being charged. You understand? So it's for the country to create. That's why they need to go to advanced countries who has done this before.
Oh, have a bilateral trade or something.
To see how they could be able to create a massive battery that can be able to power an entire state. They could create a massive battery. Now it's being charged by these panels. Those panels that are set up in those rural areas, there are some rural areas, or not even rural, let's assume we're not even using the land. There are some places that has stagnant water, stagnant rivers. You could go to those places where stagnant rivers are and see how they could build such big panels everywhere. Then those panels are the ones just powering that massive battery that will power electricity to the entire country. So that's just what they should do. So that's it.